I hope for this conference to bear its fruits and to achieve its aspired goals. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you can hear me well by now. I hope my voice is clear. I hope you can hear me clearly. Welcome to the World Urban Forum.
Its inequality raises living costs and the access to basic services. What must change to secure housing for the future? Over 70% of the people are living in slums, including those who live in the disastrous natural disaster, hurricanes, storms, and shortage of food, and the erosion and sea level rise. 2050, 2.7 billion people in this country will lose their lives. What measures should we take today to secure sustainable cities and to face the challenges of the climate change? The digital era offers incredible opportunities for cities. The system in any cities is smart now, but 1/3 of the world is they do not enjoy the digital innovation, and there are no digital as technology shifts the world, how we can ensure to leaving no one behind. English channel. This is the English channel. The world is facing more disasters and conflicts. More people are being displaced. This means that homes, communities, and memories
being lost. What local actions can we take to secure safe homes for all?
$319 million people are homeless. 1.1 billion live in slums. 2.8 billion lack adequate housing. The most vulnerable are often the hardest hit. It deepens inequality, raises living costs, and limits access to basic services. What must change to secure housing our future?
Over 70% of cities are already feeling the impacts of climate change, including heat waves, flooding, hurricanes, wildfires, pollution, droughts, severe storms, water shortage, loss of biodiversity, erosion, and sea level rise. By
2050, 2.7 billion people will face.
What radical steps must we take today to secure resilient, sustainable, and just cities?
The digital era offers incredible opportunities for cities. Smart city systems are valued at over $500 billion. But wait. 1/3 of the world is still offline, and digital innovation often leaves behind marginalized communities. As technology reshapes the world, how can we ensure leaving no one behind?
The world is facing more disasters and conflicts. More and more people are being displaced. This means that homes, communities, memories, opportunities, and identities are being lost. What local actions can we take to secure safe homes for all?
$318 million people are homeless. 1.1 billion live in slums. 2.8 billion lack adequate housing. The most vulnerable are often the hardest hit. It deepens inequality, raises living costs, and limits access to basic services. What must change to secure housing our future?
Over 70% of cities are already feeling the impacts of climate change, including heat waves, flooding, hurricanes, wildfires, pollution, droughts, severe storms, water shortage, loss of biodiversity, erosion, and sea level rise. By 2050, 2.7 billion people will face climate-related risks. What radical steps must we take today to secure resilient, sustainable, and just cities?
The digital era offers incredible opportunities for cities. Smart city systems are valued at over $500 billion. But wait. 1/3 of the world is still offline, and digital innovation often leaves behind marginalized communities. As technology reshapes the world, how can we ensure leaving no one behind?
The world is facing more disasters and conflicts. More and more people are being displaced. This means that homes, communities, memories, opportunities, and identities are being lost. What local actions can we take to secure safe homes for all?
السيدات والسادة الحضور، أسعد الله مساءكم بكل الخير وأهلا بحضراتكم جميعا. ندعو حضراتكم التوجه إلى أماكنكم والالتزام بها حيث أننا على وشك أن نبدأ. شكرا جزيلا. Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, a very warm welcome to all of you. Kindly start taking your seats. We are about to start. Thank you. السيدات والسادة، نرحب بحضراتكم مجدداً.
Ladies and gentlemen, we would like to welcome you again. Please go to your places and please be seated as we are about to start. Thank you so much.
Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, kindly start taking your seats. We are about to start. Thank you. السيدات والسادة,
Ladies and gentlemen, we would like to welcome you again and kindly take your seats. We are about to start.
may I kindly ask you to take your seats. We are about to start. Thank you. السيدات والسادة الحضور، أرحب بحضراتكم مجددا.
Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to welcome you again. Please kindly take your seats. We are about to start. Thank you.
I kindly request that you take your seats. We are about to start very shortly. Thank you very much. السيدات والسادة الحضور.
Ladies and gentlemen, the World Urban Forum 12th session is about to start. Kindly take your seats. Thank you so much.
Ladies and gentlemen, the World Urban Forum in its 12th session is about to start. We kindly ask you to take your seats. Our dear guests, I kindly call for your attention. Please take the receivers out of your pockets so you can hear clearly. Again, I kindly ask you to take the receivers out of your pockets so you can hear clearly. Thank you very much. السيدات والسادة الحضور، أرجو
And gentlemen,
حتى تستطيعون الاستماع جيدا للكلمات.
so you can hear perfectly, please get the receivers out of your pockets in order to be able to listen in a high quality manner. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, once again, kindly take the receivers out of your pockets so you can hear the translation clearly. Thank you very much. السيدات والسادة الحضور.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are about to start. Please take your seats.
about to start. Thank you. السيدات والسادة.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the final call. Please take your seats. We are about to start shortly.
This is our last call. Kindly take your seats. We are starting shortly. Thank you. فخامة الرئيس عبد الفتاح السيسي.
His Excellency President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, the President of the Arab Republic of Egypt, Their Excellencies, august guests in Egypt, may peace be upon you all. Welcome, all of you. Please take your seats. Everything starts locally. It all starts locally. Everything, it all starts together. It all starts now.
Session of the World Urban Forum. هذا هو شعار المنتدى الحضري العالمي في دورته 12. لأن كل شيء يبدأ.
It all starts locally from Cairo, the capital of civilization. Welcome, honorable guests of Egypt.
Cairo, the capital of civilization. We welcome you all, our very dear guests. أتشرف في البداية.
It gives me great honor to welcome His Excellency President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, the President of the Arab Republic of Egypt. Egypt is the hosting country for this forum, the most important globally for a real urban development seeking to serve humanity and the human being, as it always suffers from life difficulties. Housing is the base of life, the base of civilization for nations. And I would like to welcome Anna Claudia, the Under-Secretary of the UN General Secretary and the Executive Director of UN Habitat. And the forum is honored by the presence of His Excellency President Mahmoud Abbas, President of the State of Palestine. And His Excellency President Abdel Fattah al-Burhan, the President of the Transitional Sovereign Council of the Republic of Sudan. His Excellency President Rashad Mohammed El-Ailemi, President of the Presidential Leadership Council of the Republic of Yemen. Welcome, Their Excellencies, august gathering, representatives of the participating countries, civil society, academia, private sector, and all classes and brackets of society. We gathered today from all over the world with the participation of 185 states to prove that the human being is the base of urban civilization and development, and the whole community harnesses all its capabilities through projects, plans to provide decent life for all of them. Housing for all is safety, assurance, warmth and hope, dreams, as it is also culture and civilization. But in fact, the reality that the whole world is living is unlike that. Ladies and gentlemen, august gathering, allow us to start the event of the World Urban Forum in its 12th session with this short video.
Home for me is a place where I feel safe enough to be me, where I'm represented, accepted, and loved.
Home for me is a place of safety and hope.
Home is where my dreams have no limits.
Home for me means my mom's cooking. To me, home means unconditional love, experiencing that for the first time.
Tradition, culture, clean seawater, fresh food.
and family.
Home is about the people and the places that have made me who I am today.
Where I can be myself and just relax.
To me, home means sanctuary.
Where I feel safe and comfortable.
Home to me is where all my childhood memories were formed, where my family is, and where my next future memories are going to be. Everyone needs a home.
But what does home mean for you?
Each one of us has an idea of what home means.
However, the reality is different.
We are witnessing a global housing crisis.
1.1 billion people live in informal settlements and slums.
380 million are homeless.
1 in 3 people lack access to safe drinking water.
Housing is a human right.
Let's find solutions. The World Open Forum is a place to come together.
To explore local actions.
To build coalitions.
And to create a better urban future for all.
It all starts at home.
It all starts together.
It all starts now.
Home is all what has been said, and we definitely hope that you feel at home in Egypt. البيت هو كل ما قيل، ونتمنى أن تكون إقامتكم في بيتكم الثاني.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, with a recorded message from Antonio Guterres, the UN General Secretary.
إنني سعيد أن أشارك اليوم في المنتدى الحضري العالمي. إنه مناسب جدا أن تجتمعون اليوم في القاهرة، هذه المدينة الكبيرة المملوءة بالحيوية ومركز كذب لكل الابتكارات والإبداع لأكثر من 1000 عام. أشكر وجودكم في مصر. أصدقائي الأعزاء، أنتم تمثلون الأماكن الحضرية ومركزا للبشرية، فأنتم في الخطوط الأمامية للعالم المتماسك وبه الشمولية، وأنتم في قلب وأنتم.
Rightly puts it, it all starts at home. Real progress begins at the local level, on the ground, in communities and people's lives. World leaders have just adopted the Pact for the Future. It's an important new tool to advance our vital work, accelerate the SDGs, and address inequalities. It calls for ensuring adequate, safe and affordable housing for all, and supporting developing countries to plan and implement just, safe, healthy, accessible, resilient and sustainable cities. We need these more than ever. Cities generate 70% of greenhouse gas emissions, and municipal waste is set to rise by 2/3 within a generation. Not only are cities powerful engines of social and economic development, they are also catalysts of sustainable solutions. I see local and regional authorities as a crucial part of the answer on so many issues and at every level, including at United Nations. We can all benefit from your insights and ideas. That is why I created the UN Advisory Group on Local and Regional Governments. I know over the next 5 days, this forum will have the chance to delve into the complexities and opportunities of sustainable urban development. I invite you to seek innovations and inspiration and take them back to your communities, and to help develop infrastructure and public services for all, including women and girls. Local actions are the building blocks for future green, just and resilient cities. Together, let's make sustainable urbanization a reality, and let's ensure that no one and nowhere is left behind. Thank you.
شكرا للسيد أنطونيو غوتيريش الأمين.
Thank you, Mr. Antonio Guterres, the General Secretary of the United Nations, for his speech. Now, Mr. Jan van Zanen, the head of the World Association and Mayor of Hague, City Chairman of the International Association of Local and Regional Governments. You have the floor, sir.
Mr. President, Excellencies, dear representatives of national, regional and local governments, Your Excellency Anna Claudia Rosbach, dear Governor of Cairo, distinguished guests. And Mr. President, let me start telling to you that I'm so honored to feel extra at home, even arranging some rain coming from the Netherlands. Thank you for that. I'm honored to be here today in this opening ceremony of the 12th edition of the World Urban Forum. I have the pride and the pleasure of representing the self-organized constituency of local and regional governments gathered within the Global Task Force, and also as President of the United Cities and Local Governments, UCLG. The road of sustainable cities and territories is one that our constituency has walked hand in hand with UN Habitat. Allow me to wish here in public, on behalf of all of us, a very successful mandate and first World Urban Forum to Anna Claudia Rosbach. Dear Executive Director, we look forward to working closely with you. And also allow me to acknowledge the Mayor of Kuala Lumpur, Maimouna Morsharif, and the former Mayor of Barcelona, Joan Close, and all the previous leaders for their efforts to support to the self-organized constituency of local and regional governments. Thank you very much, dear friends from Kuala Lumpur and Barcelona. The two years since the last forum in Katowice have been some of the most difficult in recent memory in many parts of the globe. The hope of a better recovery after the global pandemic has stalled. Now we're facing a transformed and harsh world. The conflicts that shook us then still remain now. To respond to these overlapping crises, the theme of the World Urban Forum, "It starts at home," resonates more than ever. It starts within our communities. It starts at the local and territorial level. Transformation starts with us. Local and regional governments are the sphere of government that has led the way to protect lives and livelihoods, provide services, guarantee access to housing, and place people first. Just last week, I heard firsthand from local leaders from Uganda, Kenya, and Tanzania, such as Mayor Wilson from Koboko and Mayor Iranko of Arusha, during a session of the Strong Cities Network, how these leaders locally tackle polarization and radicalization. Local and regional governments are crucial for achieving the 2030 agenda. And in my city, The Hague, due to its location by the sea and being surrounded by other cities, there's little space for new housing. As a result, we build more high-rise buildings. While we're not Cairo or Hong Kong, it is important to monitor the level of services as we build higher and accommodate more residents. We continuously seek the right balance, ensuring that green spaces in the city remain a priority, for instance. There's also a strong emphasis on facilitating dialogue between residents and stakeholders, allowing for participation. This example shows the significance of local governments on achieving a prosperous, green and safe living environment for all. It is also essential to build upon the display of care provided by local and regional governments over the past years. This is why we call on the international system to honor the commitments of the Summit of the Future and to involve our constituency of local and regional governments in the discussion about financing and governance. We have to emphasize the role that the new urban agenda will play to accelerate the transformation from the bottom up. Only through its localization Will we ensure access to housing, face the climate emergency, be able to transform our financial ecosystems, and place our communities at the heart of a peaceful, safe, and sustainable future for all? We are convinced that the localization of the new urban agenda remains critical to achieve the SDGs, as well as the Addis Ababa Action Agenda, the Global Compact for Safe, Orderly and Regular Migration, and all other universal development agendas. Coming out of the Summit of the Future, we fully believe in the ways that it can implement the 2030 Agenda and be the cornerstone of the local SDG rescue plan. It is in this context, with the summit and the pact as a very recent memory, that we would like to take a moment to celebrate the efforts and the successes of this UN Secretary General Advisory Group, whose deliverables have been essential to enhance the dialogue between our constituency and the international system. Excellencies, dear friends and colleagues, our self-organized constituency is here as a true multilateralist. And I was honored to host the USLG constituency at the World Council in The Hague this October. As such, we call on national governments to support our pledges as their key political actors. Local and regional governments have high hopes in a renewed multilateralism and that recognizes our role in reducing poverty and hunger and in acting to protect our planet and in building peace and good governance. We have high hopes in a system that considers current and future generations, and it is focused on peace, partnerships and equity, building solutions from the bottom up. Our constituency is firmly convinced that the agenda of UN Habitat is the proof that more involvement is needed. And this is what we think of when we hear the phrase, "It starts at home." It starts with all of us. It starts now. Thank you very much.
Shukran. Thank you very much, Mr. Jan Wang, for these words. السيدات والسادة، نرحب بالسيدة أنا كلوديا زابخ المديرة التنفيذية لمؤل الأمم المتحدة. Let's welcome Annie Claudia, the Secretary General and the Executive Director of UN Habitat.
Excellency Abdel Fattah el-Sisi, President of the Arab Republic of Egypt. Your Excellency Mahmoud Abbas, President of the State of Palestine. Your Excellency Abdel Fattah al-Burhan, President of the Republic of Sudan. Your Excellency Rashad al-Alimi, President of the Presidential Leadership Council of the Republic of Yemen. Your Excellency Mustafa Madbouli, Prime Minister of Egypt. Honorable Ministers, Honorable Mayors, distinguished delegates, all protocols observed, colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, friends, good afternoon, Mesa el-Khair. First, I would like to recognize the fantastic partnership with the government of Egypt for this World Urban Forum edition, our co-hosts, who worked tirelessly to bring us here. A big thank you to all authorities and staff engaged in bringing us here today. And I have to say, Your Excellency President, I feel at home here now. Second, I would like to remind us about the genesis of the World Urban Forum. It was approved by the United Nations General Assembly 23 years ago, in 2001, as a non-legislative conference, a place for stakeholders to come and share. It was later also recognized as one of the platforms for monitoring and reporting on the new urban agenda, our common global commitment to sustainable urbanization. I also would like to recognize its increasing global relevance among the urban community and beyond since its creation. I also extend my gratitude to my predecessors, Ms. Anna Tibajuca, who should be around us today. She created the World Urban Forum. Big applause. And also Mr. Joan Clos and Maimouna Al-Sharif for keeping and preserving this valuable asset for the global urban community. Throughout the years, the WOOF has been attracting more and more new segments and stakeholders, also from different sectors. People and institutions that are concerned with the future of our planet and understand the critical role cities play in defining it. Thank you, all participants here in person and online, for joining WOOF from all corners of the world. We had registered participants from more than 182 countries, represented by 5 heads of states, 72 ministers, 51 deputy ministers, and 96 local authorities. You make WOOF what it is, a powerful platform connecting actors and networks to drive transformation across our cities and communities. Ladies and gentlemen, friends, we have truly reached an unprecedented milestone in the journey of WOOF. This is the largest, the biggest WOOF ever. We have seen tremendous growth and immense visibility at this forum. But I also believe that this magnitude is related to the fact that it happens this time here in Cairo, Egypt, a place full of culture and history, which are critical social but also economic values for our cities, but also a country looking at the future and technology and that understands the critical importance of land. Indeed, WOOF is one of the most important assets of UN Habitat, and there's universal consensus about it. An asset that I am committed to preserve and make it even more stronger throughout my mandate. It will be a strong pillar for UN Habitat's new strategic plan for the period 2026-29, and to support our role in assuring the recognition of human rights and addressing global challenges such as climate change and the global housing crisis, with its diversity of features and intersections around the world, humanitarian emergencies, informal settlements, homelessness, and housing affordability. WOOF also happens in the context of the Pact of the Future, just approved by consensus a couple of months ago during the Summit of the Future in New York, back-to-back to the United Nations General Assembly. The Pact of the Future recognizes the importance of the new urban agenda, housing and cities, the relevance of local and regional governments. It also addresses the challenges and opportunities related to digitalization and technology, which is closely connected with our efforts in promoting people-centered smart cities. The reforms of the financial architecture, where the urban, physical, and social infrastructure gaps could gain more centrality in terms of funding. And most importantly, the legacy will leave to future generations the critical role youth play now and their importance in shaping the future. The WOOF is the first big UN-related conference to take place after the approval of the Pact, and we hope discussions here can help gather critical mass and practical action and support its implementation. The outcomes of this session of WOOF, including the Cairo call to action, will no doubt convene a strong and unified message from urban stakeholders for local action. So let's start this big coalition now, not only to overcome our challenges, but to shine and thrive as a society. Thank you. Shukran.
Thank you, Mrs. Anna Claudia. And now, ladies and gentlemen, with the speech of His Excellency Rashad Mohammed Al-Alemi, the President of the Presidential Leadership Council of the Republic of Yemen. In the name of God Almighty, my brother, Your Excellency President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, Your Excellencies, august gathering, ladies and gentlemen, I would like at the outset to express our deepest thanks and congratulations for the Arab Republic of Egypt, leadership and government and people for the excellent organization of this high-level forum, and our thanks and appreciation to the United Nations for the efforts exerted and appreciated to stimulate our countries to achieve sustainable development in all areas. The selection of Cairo to host this important UN event was the best embodiment for the World Urban Forum, as this ancient city represented urban richness all over history, and it in fact increased its diversity and development to serve the human being and its national economy through the efforts exerted by His Excellency President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, who is leading an urban renaissance and development all over the area. Hence, our countries should benefit from this pioneering experience in an approach for the national entitlements related to urban development, and to re-urbanize our cities, resorting to the different experiences and the Egyptian mindset who contributed to create this civilizational transformation and development. Ladies and gentlemen, the World Urban Forum, since its establishment, studied the accelerated urbanization and its impact on national economies and communities, and it also represented a unique platform for countries in armed conflicts to present the impact of disasters and wars on its cities and the future of their generations. And luckily, to be here with among us my brothers, His Excellency Mahmoud Abbas and Abdel Fattah al-Burhani, to tell other stories of our citizens and the suffering of its people in Yemen. The war, in fact, which led to the Houthis militias, led to a huge destruction in the infrastructure and the basic services, on top of which electricity, roads, transportation, ports, airports, factories, and commercial utilities. In the language of figures, the estimation led to the destruction of urban places by 49%, particularly the assets of energy, and 38% from the water and wastewater sector. Also, the high cost harm in the internal road infrastructure and the telecommunication sector, and also the housing sector was harmfully destructed, and it took us decades behind. and hence the development, United Nations development. In 2019, the total of economic losses in Yemen may increase by 2030 to 657 billion US dollar if the war will continue and if the Houthis will, supported by the Iranian system, to respond to peace and to, in fact, restore our peace path. Hence, development in this context to appreciate our brothers in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia and the Arab Republic of Egypt, United Arab Emirates, and all legal pact for the effort they exerted to stop the horrors of war and for inclusive support for our institutions. Ladies and gentlemen, the Yemeni government is in fact facing very complicated finance and infrastructure problem due to climate change that doubled the impact and which makes it difficult to implement urban development at all levels. In the last 10 years, the hurricanes led to a wide range of destruction due to the hurricanes and the harms that affected the housing of the residential areas and also the infrastructure. For example, the sudden floods led to thousands of victims and so many of displaced persons and agriculture acquisitions, which led to 150 million US dollar losses. Hence, the Yemeni government is continuous through the support of our brothers and the international community to fulfill the inevitable needs due to climate change, among us which in the investment and infrastructure and to respond to the emergency and human assistance and building institutional capacities and the different sectors to develop plans of adaptation and to reduce the impact of climate change. And from this forum and the events hosted by the Arab Republic of Egypt will always be an added value with regards to inclusive urban development worldwide. Thank you once again, Your Excellency, President Fattah al-Sisi, for, in fact, your generous hospitality and looking forward for the success of this international urban forum. May peace be upon you all, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you, His Excellency, President of the President of the Yemen, the Republic of Yemen. And now, His Excellency Abdel Fattah al-Burhani, President of the Transitional Sovereign Council of the Republic of Sudan. In the name of God, His Excellency, President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, the President of Arab Republic of Egypt, Excellencies, Presidents, the Executive Director of the UN Habitat, the Head of the Delegates, dear attendees. Welcome, welcome, and peace be upon you. I'm very pleased to participate today in this forum in the land of Cairo, of Egypt, the brotherly state, to attend the events of the World Urban Forum in its 12th session under the slogan of "Everything starts at home." Let's work together for urban sustainable cities. At the outset, please allow me to thank and pay gratitude to His Excellency President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi for what we've witnessed of hospitality, for his great hospitality in Egypt. It is known in our brotherly country, Egypt. And I congratulate him for hosting this very important international forum. Also, I'd like to greet the Egyptian leaders, all the Egyptian leaders, to pioneer the African Union for the restoring the Africa after the conflicts, and also to play a very important role in Africa for the first time after 20 years. We've followed happily the achievements, the successive achievements of Egypt in the field of urban development. Egypt has achieved an urban development, a comprehensive one, in a very critical time that witnessed a lot of conflicts on the regional and international levels. Egypt has proved its ability to transform and to face all challenges and turn it into opportunities. This happened in the presence of the wise leadership of people at this time. Mr. President, Mr. attendees, the Executive Director of the UN Habitat, I would seize this opportunity to express my appreciation of the efforts and the initiatives of the UN for the human settlements and to intensify our local efforts in terms of following the sustainable strategies, and also it supports a lot of programs, of urban programs, through intensifying the regional planning strategies, urban strategies, to implement the SDGs. Also, I'd like to thank the efforts, the continuous efforts in supporting the Sudanese during the COVID-19 and also during all the disasters that took place lately, of floods that took place this year. And we are sure that they will continue in such initiatives and projects in the coming future. Ladies and gentlemen, you all know that the Sudani people face a war that targeted their existence and its civilization and its infrastructure and all the successes and achievements that's been in Sudan. And it has always been a bridge for communication and for construction and for exchanging interests and benefits. Such incursions that was done by the militias, the terrorist militias that were supported by foreign powers to take leadership and to curb this transitional period. And they also done a lot of killing and raping and looting. All these practices are crimes against humanity and crimes against racial discrimination and extinction. But Sudani people, they are very determined to preserve the state of Sudan and its institutions and to foil such conspiracy. And they look for the support of all friendly countries and the countries of interest to reshape the urban sectors which was targeted by these militias for construction, and also the destruction of all the sectors. We look forward after the war. We look forward that will come forward to the stage afterward that will come to an end shortly. We are sure that this forum will conclude with recommendations, good recommendations for sustainable housing, and also recommendations pertaining to face the challenges that the government face, which caused a bit of backwardness in the file of sustainable development. And I think that this would be a good chance to support the international cooperation to reach a pact for the future by building coalitions, strong coalitions for the new urban agenda and to face the world challenges that are imposed by the crisis, the housing crisis and the climate change and the deforestation. In conclusion, I would like to say that the recommendations of this forum will support the Sudani people looking forward to the construction of Sudan and to implement a true development that would attract all the partners and investments. I wish you great success in your discussions and deliberations. Thank you, the Friends of Sudan. Thank you. And thank you. And please hold strong the Sudani people. Please stay strong, Sudani people. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Your Excellency, President Abdel Fattah al-Burhan, the President of the Transition Sovereign Council of Sudan. And now, the speech of His Excellency, President Mahmoud Abbas, President of the State of Palestine. In the name of Allah, most gracious, most merciful, Your Excellency, President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, the President of the Arab Republic of Egypt, leaders, presidents of delegates, August gathering, may peace be upon you all. The State of Palestine participates this year in the World Urban Forum under the UN Habitat, under destruction and genocide and ethnic cleansing and stealing the land and natural resources of Palestine that is practiced by the Israeli occupation against our people in Gaza Strip. In Gaza Strip and the Western Front and in Eastern Jerusalem. This, in fact, imposes a lot of challenges that impede the efforts of world urban sustainable development in more than 60% of the land of the Western Front and in Eastern Jerusalem, and the destruction of more than 80% of residential areas, utilities, hospitals, and schools in Gaza Strip, in addition to the martyr and of more than 150,000 Palestinians. The international community is requested to stop the state of occupation and to hold it accountable and to punish it for its war crimes and the crimes committed against the Palestinian people. And their acts as if they are above the international law. We would like to reiterate and to underscore that the Israeli occupational state should be held accountable for not fulfilling its obligation towards accepting its membership in the United Nations in 1949. Israel was not accepted by the United Nations without accepting resolution number 181 and 122, and it signed this commitment. And when implementing the two resolutions of the General Assembly 181 and 149, which necessitates to take the necessary measures against it in case of not fulfilling its commitments. And in fact, we denounce this. We need the resolution. We need decisive stand from the United Nations and the international community, implementing the resolutions of the United Nations, and which is the resolution of the General Assembly with regard the International Court of Justice fatwa, which leads to ending of the Israeli occupation from the land of Palestine, with its capital East Jerusalem, and to go back to the borders 1967, and for Palestine to have full membership. And this is a basic right to achieve justice and stability in the region. We are the only people worldwide. We are the only members who are being monitored by the international community, international system. We need to have full membership like the rest of the whole world. It's a due time, and after the passage of 1 year on the genocide that is being committed against our people in Gaza and in the Western Front, to implement the resolution of the Security Council 235 with regards to cease fire. Immediately, the United States used the veto 3 times to stop ceasing fire, this big and great country, and the Israeli troops to withdraw from the whole of Gaza Strip and to find shelters for the displaced and for reconstruction. Gaza is totally destroyed, and the state of Palestine to shoulder its responsibility for reconstruction. And we would like to underscore again for the importance of implementing the resolution of 2334 of the. And in fact, the rules of safety and security will open ground towards implementing sustainable urban development in Palestine, which is in consensus with the objective of the United Nations, and that will fulfill sustainability and resilience and creating job opportunities within a green economy framework and digitalization, coping development standards and criteria, which requires building national partnerships and international partnership in order to upgrade the economy and to secure future for the coming generations. We would like to extend our deepest thanks and appreciation for His Excellency President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi for his invitation and generous hospitality and sponsoring this important event and forum, and would like to underscore the great achievements that have been achieved by Egypt in the area of sustainable urban development. Our thanks and appreciation to the United Nations and all organizers of this important event, looking forward for its success, and may peace be upon you all.
Thank you, Excellency Mahmoud Abbas, the President of the State of Palestine. Ladies and gentlemen, the guests of Egypt, all the world now is looking at us, waiting a lot from us for the results and discussions and recommendations that would make a difference in the future of the future of them and the new generations and the rights of all to live a decent life. I now call upon you all to watch this movie about the success story where the political will and the private sector and the government and the civil society, they all met together by the help of its sons and daughters. The future is the son of the present. We live in a lot of changes that
يمثل تهديدا جوهريا لجودة الحياة على الأرض. ولأن كل شيء يبدأ محليا، قامت الدولة المصرية خلال السنوات العشر الأخيرة بالإسراع من وتيرة التدابير والإجراءات لتوطين مستهدفات التنمية المستدامة ووضعها على قمة أجندات العمل الوطني للتعامل مع تلك التحديات والمخاطر. ولأن كل شيء يبدأ الآن، وجهت القيادة السياسية بسرعة العمل على جميع المحاور التنموية بشكل متوازي وتكثيف الجهود للتغلب على المشكلات القائمة والتعامل بمنهج استباقي مع الأزمات المحتملة. ونفذت الدولة المصرية حلولا مبتكرة لإحداث نهضة حضرية تضمنت إطلاق أكبر مشروع لإنشاء أكثر من 1,000,000 وحدة سكنية ساعدت في تحسين جودة الحياة وحققت 5 مستهدفات رئيسية: الوفرة، الجودة، التنوع، المساواة والاستدامة. كما عملت الدولة بالتوازي على تطوير العمران القائم والمدن الرئيسية، خاصة مدينتي القاهرة والأسكندرية اللتين تمثلان أكبر التجمعات الحضرية في مصر. وقد ضم العمران المصري في عقود سابقة العديد من المناطق المتدهورة حضريا والتي شكلت عبئا كبيرا لخطورة العيش بها، فتم وضع مخططات استهدفت تطويرها، ونجحت الدولة في تحويل العشوائيات إلى مدن حضارية متكاملة المرافق والخدمات، وفرت من خلالها حياة كريمة للجميع، منها مشروع حي الأسمرات، ومشروع مثلث ماسبيرو، ومساكن عين الصيرة، ومنطقة سور مجرى العيون بالقاهرة، ومشروع بشاير الخير بمراحله المختلفة بمدينة الأسكندرية. واحتلت مشروعات رفع كفاءة المدن الرئيسية وإعادة تأهيلها أولوية قصوى إذا تم تنفيذ مشروعات استهدفت القضاء على التكدس المروري وتوزيع كثافة السكان. وتم التخطيط لإنشاء 7,000 كيلومتر من الطرق الجديدة وتطوير ورفع كفاءة 10,000 كيلومتر من شبكة الطرق القائمة، ما سهل من عملية الانتقال داخل المدن أو بين الأقاليم وبعضها البعض. كما قامت الدولة بإحياء وتطوير المعالم الحضارية، مرتكزة في ذلك على 3 عناصر رئيسية: التأهيل العمراني للمناطق التراثية، والتأهيل المجتمعي للتجمعات السكنية المجاورة، والتأهيل السياحي لتلك المناطق. وأطلقت مصر المبادرة الرئاسية مشروع حياة كريمة، درة التاج لمشروعات الجمهورية الجديدة، الذي استهدف تطوير أكثر من 4,600 قرية وتطوير جميع الخدمات الأساسية بها، بما ساهم في تحسين جودة الحياة لأكثر من 60 مليون مواطن. ورغم الظروف الدولية المعاكسة، قامت مصر بإطلاق مشروعات عملاقة للتنمية العمرانية المستدامة ضمت إنشاء 24 مدينة جديدة، منها مدينة العاصمة الإدارية والعلمين الجديدة ومدينة المنصورة الجديدة ومدينة الجلالة وغيرها من المدن، والتي مثلت طفرة تنموية كونها مدنا مرنة تعمل على تعزيز النشاط الاقتصادي وتوزيع الكثافة السكانية وتوسيع الرقعة الحضرية المخططة، فضلا عن الاستدامة البيئية. ولم تغفل الدولة المصرية في إطار تنفيذ مخططها التنموي الشامل إدراج البعد البيئي كعنصر رئيسي في المشروعات كافة، وتوسعت في المشروعات الذكية الخضراء ومشروعات الطاقة النظيفة، كما كان لها السبق في إطلاق أول سوق لتداول شهادات الكربون الطوعي في إفريقيا. ولأن كل شيء يبدأ معا، علينا أن ندرك أن انعدام القدرة على توفير السكن اللائق وإتاحة الخدمات الرئيسية بشكل متساوي يؤدي لخلل بالاستقرار الاقتصادي والاجتماعي، وكل زيادة في معدل الاحترار تؤدي إلى تفاقم الخطر البيئي، ومرور الوقت يؤدي لتضاعف تكلفة تلك التحديات. وتمثل التهديدات الراهنة بطبيعتها العالمية وتداعياتها التي لا تستثني أحدا تحديا وجوديا يقوض من قدرتنا على توفير مستقبل مستدام، وينذر بخسارة المكاسب الإنمائية، ويلقي المزيد من الأعباء على الفئات المهمشة. ولا يمكننا تجاوز تلك التحديات إلا بإجراءات جماعية عاجلة وتنسيق شامل للجهود ومصداقية دولية متعددة الأطراف تحقق انتقالا فاعلا من استجابتنا للتهديدات إلى الصمود والمواجهة، ما يدعونا لأن نعمل محليا حيث تكمن الإرادة. الآن يجب أن تبدأ الجهود. معا يمكننا تحسين جودة الحياة.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, dear guests, the speech of His Excellency President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, the President of the Arab Republic of Egypt. Thank you. In the name of God, Excellencies, the presidents of the countries and the governments, Mrs. Anna Kosbach, the executive director of the UN Habitat, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to welcome you all on the land of Egypt and in its capital, Cairo, which was established for more than 1,000 years ago to be one of the most important historical cities in the world, that gives it the primacy to host the 12th session of the World Urban Forum, to exchange expertise and to know better practices about the urban development that would achieve the sustainable development, and also to progress to have new cities for better quality of life of millions of inhabitants and people. Despite all the challenges that these cities faces this year, as for the rapid increase in population and the change in the climate and the scarcity of water, the sustainable development, and also the losing of houses, and to provide enough funding, which needs a collective efforts, international efforts, to find a creative solutions and effective solutions to face such challenges. Dear guests, this session of the forum comes at a critical time where the world is facing a lot of international crises and wars that has its repercussions and destruction on the cities, effects on the cities and housing places and all the life aspects. This necessitates that we should mobilize all the efforts and the political will to implement peace and to stop all the conflicts in this world, and also to intensify all the efforts for the development and the reconstruction and the building. We cannot do this, we cannot start this with all these serious efforts to face such urban challenges in communities that face conflict and war and killing, displacement, famine and disease. The Middle East is witnessing a lot of conflicts, especially the war that is taking place now in Gaza Strip and Lebanon is a good example and witness of the losses, the great losses that the countries face, and this the voice of the conflict is on the expense of peaceful settlements. The daily suffering of the people of these nations needs an immediate response to stop the bloodshed and the destruction and to start reconstructing and development. Egypt is always keen to offer all the support to its brotherly countries and to stop violence and to stop all the economic and social risks. Ladies and gentlemen, with all the crisis that is around us or facing us, Egypt has achieved a lot during the past years in the field of urbanization and the urban development that serves the local strategies in the 2030 agenda. A lot of initiatives and projects have been implemented, among on top of which Hayat Karima, the decent life, to renovate the rural areas, and Takaful and Karama initiative to support the poor communities and those who need it, and to provide houses for all Egyptians. These are considered the big housing projects for the limited income people in Egypt and for the whole world. Egypt also has started a new generation of cities with the smart and urban development aspects, on top of which is the administrative capital, Alamein city, among 22 cities that were constructed in different governorates of Egypt, and also launching new projects for the renovation of slums and for the unplanned cities and unsecured places, and to improve the means of transportation. Allow me in this event to announce the launching of the Smart City Strategy and the National Strategy for Better Urban Cities that intensifies the local activities, efforts in the field of urbanization that follow the standards of the international standards. Dear guests, this World Urban Forum represents a very identical and perfect forum for exchanging on dialogue with all the stakeholders about how to improve these cities and the human settlements and to intensify the urban development. This needs the active participation of all stakeholders, of the local communities and international communities, private sectors, the NGOs or civil societies, universities, to have more partnership and to draft more policies that reflect the aspirations of these people to live in better life. Before I conclude my word today, I'd like to express that I hope for this forum to be an important step towards the implementation of the urban agenda and to intensify and to support the international cooperation that would result in solutions facing the urban challenges and to achieve the sustainable development. Thank you very much, and I wish you all the success in the deliberations in this forum. Thank you very much. Thank you, Excellency President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, the President of Arab Republic of Egypt. And now President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi and Mrs. Anna Claudia Rosbach to announce the inauguration of the 12th session of the World Urban Forum.
The Director of UN Habitat will now declare the opening of the 12th session of the World Urban Forum.
Together, President of the Arab Republic of Egypt, I have the honor to formally open the 12th session of the World Urban Forum.
God, please allow me here from Cairo, the capital of civilization and the capital of history and the capital of peace, to announce the opening of the World Urban Forum 12th session. Best of luck. Thank you, His Excellency President Abdel Fattah Sisi. Thank you for all the guests and the Secretary, the Executive Director of the UN Habitat. Thank you all. And now the deliberations and the discussions and the roundtable sessions of the forum will start. Welcome you all to Cairo, the capital of history.
يلا بالايفون هدوا.
شكرا. تحيا مصر، تحيا مصر، تحيا مصر.
مش هعرف اقولها، صدقني ما هعرف اقولها، صدقني ما هعرف اقولها، اسمع مني، صدقني ما هعرف اقولها، صدقني ما. ريمون ريمون امسك ريمون. عايزين نسمع سماعات سماعات الترجمه نسلمها للاشرف.
بعد إذن السادة الحضور ممكن نسلم سماعات الترجمة للأشرز. Ladies and gentlemen, would you please deliver the translation transmitters to the ushers? Thank you.